Welcome back to Sounds Good, our midday music and community conversation program on WKMS. I'm Matt Mark Graff. This hour, we're pleased to present a special Sounds Good live lunch featuring Murray native singer-songwriter Dan Cohen. Head over to WKMS.org to watch the live stream of this hour's performance, made possible by MSU Digital Media Services. Let's go now to Tracy Ross in WKMS Studio B.
Thank you very much, Matt. It's my pleasure to welcome you to another live lunch. And normally on live lunches, we're featuring young and upcoming artists, but it's my pleasure to actually welcome an established artist and working musician, a Murray native who's going to have quite a tale to tell, Dan Cohen. Dan, welcome to Live Lunch.
Thanks, Tracy.
I guess
normally you have young people on here.
Well, no,
not today.
Young and experienced. That's all I'm saying. Let's begin by just kind of introducing you to everybody. Tell the listeners who your folks are and about how long it's been since you lived in Murray.
My folks are Michael and Kathy Cohen. They're sitting on a couch over there. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. And how long since I've lived here?
Yeah.
Wow. Since I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
I went to college
4 or 5 years.
Yeah. Nice save.
Well, tell me, as someone who literally you spend every day of your life making music, at what point when you were younger did you think maybe music is something that I'm driven toward more than anything else?
I don't know. I didn't really ever think about doing it as a career until sort of my mid-20s. It was always the sort of, because everybody in my family is academics and scholars, and I sort of thought I was going to go do that as well. And then I did this summer teaching course when I was in college, and I realized that I did not want to do that ever. And I was living in Philadelphia after college, and I was playing a lot of gigs and writing a lot of songs, and a buddy of mine was moving to Nashville. And I said, well, I think I will, if I don't give it a shot and see if I can do it, then I will always regret not having done that, and I wouldn't be able to live with that. So, yeah.
So what were
most of my major life decisions, I didn't give it a lot of thought.
That's probably for the best. What were the first steps, though? You were like, okay, I want to try to make a living with music. And you were in Nashville.
First, I moved to Nashville and started playing a lot of golf. I would not recommend that. I played a lot of writers' nights. There's a lot of songwriter round things where they have 5 or 6 songwriters get up there, and they each do 2 or 3 songs.
Is that scary?
It's profoundly boring. It's really, really awful. Mom was with me at the Broken Spoke several nights. And if you're new, you have to wait till the end before they let you play 1 or maybe 2 songs if you get to play at all. And, there's tens of thousands of songwriters in Nashville, so everybody's there and wants to play songs. So I did that and sort of got in this little circuit of people that are playing there. And also, what happens is you play a song, this guy plays a song, next guy plays a song. So was really bored. So I would just start, and they were really, really simple songs. So I would just start playing guitar along with these people. And you sort of look down the line, and you're like, is it okay if I play kind of the nod? And they're like, yeah, sure. And then I would take a solo or something in the section, just play little fills. And then afterwards, people came up and they were like, hey, will you play guitar with me for this writer's round? And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And they're like, I'll give you $40. And I'm like, when? 40 American dollars? So that started happening. And then I started playing with some bands and some bands that were gigging regularly. And then, just sort of gradually working with better and better musicians. And then I found out about this audition that was happening. 2 friends of mine, it was a new artist on Sony, Brad Martin, and we'd heard about the audition, and we auditioned as a band, bass, drums, and guitar, and got the gig, and then I was on a bus playing for music for a living.
And what was your, I guess, big break? Was there a moment in your career that you were able to work with?
No, waiting on that one.
You're waiting on that one? Okay. All right. We'll hold off on that. Well, you do have a brand new record, Bluebird.
Yes.
And are you going to play something from that album?
I'm going to play Bluebird. I'm going to play the title track from that record.
With the sun, and they're running all around, staking their claims, digging the water from the ground. I got no time, I got a bluebird on my mind. I got no time, I got a bluebird on my mind. Chasing the day as they make their way across. They take what they may and they leave the rest for lost. I got no time, I got a bluebird on my mind. I got no time, I got a bluebird on my mind. And when she takes it away, you can hear her sing. Well, you can hear her sing. Washed it all away. Cover of night, there's no moonlight on the way. But I got no time, I got a bluebird on my mind. I got no time, I got a bluebird on my mind. I got no time, I got that bluebird on my mind. I got no time, I got a bluebird on my mind. I got no time, I got no time, but I got no time, I got no time.
Very nice.
Thank you.
I remember earlier in your career, and of course guitar playing always, I guess, has come naturally to you, but you said you were having a hard time slotting in like where your vocal performance was, but it seems like you've really kind of mastered what you want to do vocally as well as on the guitar. Was that a hard process?
It was for me. For a lot of people, it's very easy. They find their voice very quickly, but since I've always spent more time playing guitar, so I found my guitar voice fairly quickly. But I listened to almost nothing but the Beatles for about 4 years. So first of all, it took me a long time to stop singing in the pseudo-British accent. Like whenever I would sing the word girl, I would sing girl.
Some people never stop that, you know.
I know. Even in my own songs, if I wrote the word girl, it would be girl. So, you know, it took me 15 years to stop doing that. And then, no, it didn't take that long. But yeah, my first solo record was very much, I was really excited to do a record, and so I wanted to play every single lick that I had ever heard or thought of. And there were all these different styles of songs, sort of jazzy songs, blues, and some R&B, and some country stuff, and rock, and different sort of vocal styles. And as good as those songs are, I think, and as good as the musicianship and everything on that record is stellar, you don't come away with it, I think, with a real sense of who the artist is. It's like, well, that's great, and that person can obviously play a lot, but who is it? Whereas this record, I think you listen to it and you're like, oh, I know that. Yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah, I was talking to your brother last year, and he was so excited about this record, and he said, this is the album I've waited for him to make his entire career. Why do you think it's happened now, and what did it take you to get to this place?
I don't know. As far as songwriting and singing and that, artistry, I was never as focused as I was on guitar playing. So, you're going to get good at whatever you focus on. And I think it's just because I haven't spent that much time doing this particular aspect of my career that it's taken that long. And also, I'm kind of slow. I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, let's hear another one maybe from Bluebird before the break.
Sure, absolutely. Let's do I Want You. Now on the record, this is all cellos. So if you're listening at home, imagine this is all cellos.
You say I don't know what I want, unless it's something I can't have. 'Cause you've watched me for a while now, throwing good love after bad. So with you I took my time, oh, but I took too much by far. I've squandered all of my restraint, so I'll just tell you where we are. I want you to help me hold the line. I want you for more than just your mind. I want you to get me past my prime, when all the lights are fading out, when all the fires are burning down, when the dogs are finally worn out and they're sleeping on the ground. I want you. We know there's something going on, but neither one of us can tell if it's the thing we've always wanted, or just another penny down the well. I've got so much to tell you here, but you always know just what I'm gonna say. Your objections notwithstanding, I see you haven't walked away. I want you to help me hold the line. I want you, I don't care what I find. I want you, I want your hand in mine, when all the lights are fading out, when all the fires are burning down, when the dogs are finally worn out and they're sleeping on the ground. I want you. I want you. I want you. I want you. I want you.
You're listening to Dan Cohen on Live Lunch. We'll be back with more after this.
Dan Cohen sounds good on WKMS with support from contributing listeners and Toyota of Murray, wishing all a happy holidays. They ring in the new year with a showcase of the new 2015 vehicles, including Camrys, Avalons, and 3 models of the new Prius Hybrid. The full line of inventory is available at toyotaofmurray.com or on the lot Monday through Saturday. Toyota, let's go places. Support also comes from Red Roof Ranch, Alpaca Farm and Store off Old Rocky Point Road in Cadiz. Open Wednesday through Saturday, Red Roof Ranch raises its own alpacas and offers natural homegrown yarns for knitters. Visitors can hand-feed alpacas on site and meet the new season of babies. They also stock alpaca socks, sweaters, and other gift items. More at redroofranch.net.
The trick to a great ham is a song, she'd say, and we would sing loud and lustily. I make my ham the way my mother made hers, with lots of talk and love and laughter.
This Thanksgiving, we're in the kitchen with poet Nikki Giovanni. We'll remember her friend Maya Angelou and gather together for a Minnesota blessing from Garrison Keillor. I'm John Burge with music and stories for Thanksgiving. It's Giving Thanks from American Public Media.
Thanksgiving from 11 until 1 with support from Artisan Kitchen of Paducah.
It's Friday, November 21st. The Cram the Cruiser food drive starts today and runs through December 16th at Kentucky State Police Post 1. A KSP Cruiser is parked at the entrance of KSP Post 1 on Highway 45 in Graves County. Drop off non-perishable food items in the cruiser, and the KSP takes the items to local food pantries for distribution to families in the area. The Graves County Middle and High School's Youth Services Centers seek donations of warm coats and jackets, especially in sizes suitable for middle and high school students. To donate, bring coats to the middle or high school and ask for the Youth Services Center. For more information, call 270-674-4920. Madisonville Community College, together with Kentucky Chautauqua, presents Mary Todd Lincoln, A House Divided, Tuesday morning at 11 at the Glima Marr Center for the Arts. The performance is free and open to the public. For more information, visit kyhumanities.org. Add your community events to the online calendar at WKMS.org. Thanks for listening.
This is Sounds Good on WKMS, our midday music and community conversation program on Murray State's WKMS, also 90.9 WKMD Madisonville and 89.5 WKMT Fulton, Martin, and Union City. Let's return to our Sounds Good live lunch performance featuring Dan Cohen. You can watch this performance streaming live at WKMS.org. Tracy, back to you in Studio B.
Thank you, Matt. Well, Dan, we were talking earlier about the process of getting started into your career as a musician, and you'd gotten your first big break as part of a band. Who was the artist?
Brad Martin.
Brad Martin. Doesn't resonate today.
He was on Epic, and he got cut.
Happens.
A bunch of people got cut. There were several huge bloodbath cuts in Sony's roster in the 2000s.
So what'd you do then?
I was just playing around town. I was writing. I've always, done a lot of songwriting in town, and then I got a call from Tracy Bird's road manager. Tracy is a great singer. I think he's retired now.
And he was pretty popular.
Yeah, he had several number ones, and was a big national touring artist. And I remember listening to one of his records in Philadelphia before I moved to Nashville, and listening to the guitar playing and saying, I want to learn how to do that. So I ended up going out with him to do a show in I can't remember the guy's name. he had a talk show. It was on, this was out in California, and we played one of Tracy's songs, and it was sort of an audition for me. Oops, excuse me, I got to take this. What was his name? Craig something. Craig Kilborn. We did the Craig Kilborn show. That's right, yeah. And then I ended up playing guitar with him on the road for, I guess, about 2 or 3 years. And my good friend James that was with me, James plays bass now for Luke Bryan. And he played on all my records, and we were out on the road there, and it was great playing to some big crowds, opening for, often Tracy was a headliner, but sometimes we would do these festivals and just playing for tens of thousands of people, and it was amazing.
Were you ready for that? I mean, had you ever played in front of that kind of crowd? Yeah. Yeah, you were pretty down with it.
I will always be more nervous playing for 5 people that I know very, very well than I will for 10,000 people.
You must be shaking in your boots right now, then.
Yes. Yeah.
So what happened after?
Most people are like that. It's just like, if
yeah.
you're playing, it's anonymous. It's a great bunch of people, and you get this like rush of energy, and you feel that crowd.
But when you were playing with Tracy, you didn't really have any songwriting input, did you? I mean, was it his show and you were just in his band, or was it a collaborative?
Tracy?
Yeah.
Well, Tracy himself did very little of the writing for that. He mostly cut songs that other songwriters had written.
So the songwriting aspect of being a musician was completely missing in that part of your career.
I was just a guitar slinger. Yeah.
And was that fulfilling in its own way, or did you
for
feel
a while? I mean, if you told me when I moved to Nashville, if you'd offered, because I always said all I want to do is make a living playing music, but then you move the goalposts once you reach that, and it's like, it's not quite enough. But it was a process. It was evolving. I really thought that was all I wanted, but I now know that, because I still play with some groups, but I have to be involved creatively. I have to be involved in the writing or the production, some end of it like that.
And
was a lot of money.
Was Stone next?
Yes. Then I started playing with this band in Nashville with a songwriter, John Stone, who's a very successful songwriter. And this was also with James and Derek that I was on the road with Brad Martin and Tracy Bird. They're my guys. They're my Derek Mixon. This is just the most amazing drummer I've ever worked with, and James Cook is the most amazing bass player I've ever worked with, and they're my brothers. They're from Monroe, Louisiana. Well, Derek's from West Monroe. Yeah, that's different. It's a different thing. So, the 3 of us and John, and we started doing this Nashville thing where you do showcases, where you put together your set, and then you invite a bunch of record executives out, and none of them show up. And then you do it again, and 2 of them show up, and then you do it again until there's enough of them there that one of them gets nervous that the other one's going to offer you a record contract, and then so they offer you a record contract.
You're making this all sound so glamorous.
Yeah, it really was.
Let's hear another song before we go on with the rest of this tale.
That's a good idea. This is a happy little ditty off Bluebird. It's called Love Is Gone.
I met you in the world, but I was gonna wait a while for feelings to unfurl. But you just turned away and smiled. Now love is gone. Love is gone. Love is gone away. It's gone. You took me by the hand, oh, and I made a little joke of it. Ha! I should have watched the sands. Yep, I should have made the most of it. Now love is gone. My love is gone. Love is gone away. gone. It's gone. I guess I should be sad. I guess I should be fighting it. But it's really not that bad. Oh, and the drugs are helping quite a bit. Now love is gone. I said love is gone. Love is gone away. Away. Love is gone. I said love is gone. Love is gone away. Gone, it's gone. It's gone, 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 gone. It's gone. It's gone.
That song is pretty old. I remember you playing that in a different form several years for me. Were most of the songs on Bluebird a couple of years old, or did you think of them right before you started recording the album?
I'd had that song and a couple more, and I just sort of started recording, and then I realized that they sort of held together, that this sort of cohesive, despite being very different songs, that they sounded like they were part of what would make a good record.
Let's go back and pick up the thread with Stone now. So you're performing with this group, and I guess things are going well.
Yeah. So I was playing with Tracy Byrd, and then we got signed with Sony. The band got signed, and started making a record, and then Sony cut a whole bunch of other acts, including us, but. By that point, it was fine because it was very kind of Nashville, and the sound wasn't really. I don't know. It was a good band. They were good songs, but it was really more driven by the lead singer and his artistry, which was fine. But I wanted to do my own thing,
and that.
Yeah, and after that. And then I guess it was after that, I sort of became dissatisfied with Nashville, with country music in general, with new country music. And so I quit the Byrd gig, and I don't know, I guess I sort of assumed that the phone would ring like 3 days later, and it didn't. And then it caused me to reevaluate what I was doing in Nashville to begin with. I was like, did I come here to play guitar for country acts and play music that I'm not really that excited about? I'm like, no, I came here to play music that I want to play, that I like. So I started writing a bunch of songs. And at that point, we started a little record label, my family and I. It was my mom's idea, actually. She's like, where's your record? I want to hear your record. And I was like, okay, well, let's just start a record label and then I'll make one. She said, okay. So we did.
Was that easier or harder than I might think it would be?
I don't know. I didn't do much of the work, so it was pretty easy for me. So my brother and I basically run the business, and I'm on the creative, I think I'm the creative director of Weston Boys, is the name of the company. We have a music publishing company and a record label, and I put out the solo record, and enjoyed that whole process immensely, and toured, and also I'd met one of the great things that happened out of the Sony days of getting signed with Stone, in addition to meeting a bunch of and getting to write with a bunch of great songwriters like Jeffrey Steele and Bob DiPiero and people like that, was that I met Jace Everett at a Habitat for Humanity build, and he taught me how to hang vinyl siding, which is not that hard, but he taught me how to do it anyway.
For those who might not immediately recognize Jace Everett, what is the song that they would probably immediately say, oh yeah, he wrote that song? It's the theme to True Blood.
not going to sing it.
But when you met up with him, was this pre his song being chosen to be the theme song
Yes.
of True Blood?
He had written it, and it was on a record because he was signed to Sony at the same time, and his record actually came out. He didn't get dropped for 6 months after his record came out. They waited a long time before they dropped Jay's. But when he and I actually started writing, a couple of years later, I mean, this is 2007, 2008, it had just been chosen to be the theme song for True Blood, and EMI had just dropped him. He'd had a number one, I don't know, a year before that. So he had a number one, and this is the state of publishing in Nashville. You can have a number one song and your song chosen as the theme song to an HBO program, and that's just not enough to keep you on the roster at a publishing company. So I talked to my brother, and I was like, we could sign Jace, we could sign a writer, and then we could maybe get some more money.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's like my business. That's as far as I go with business acumen. It's like we could make money.
Well, let's hear another song and then break up the narrative, and then we'll get back to this.
Okay. Let's see. Okay.
Is this also?
This is from Bluebird, and since we're talking about Jace, this is a song he and I wrote together. It's called Pennsylvania. And I want to say this is on his record as well, and he has a new record out called Terra Rosa that is just fantastic. And I say that not just because I wrote a couple songs on it and played guitar on it. It's really good. I've made I think 5 records with Chase now, and this is amazing. So we wrote this song together in Austin, Texas, and it's called Pennsylvania.
Borrowed Sunday suit, a pair of snakeskin boots, and a hand-spun tale of woe which overcame them. Of a wheel within a wheel, the dread they all could feel out there in the fields of Pennsylvania. After breaking bread, he looked at them and said, "There's a fire coming soon, but I can save ya." Sang an old forgotten song, and the children sang along, their voices rising up in Pennsylvania. So clap hands, stomp feet. Love has come, love will set you free. Clap hands, stomp feet. Love has come, love to set you free. When the hammer hits the wheel, there's smoke there in the steel. The word it felt so heavy in his hand. Oh, just like that he's gone, the spirit pushes him along. He slouches now towards eastern Pennsylvania. Clap hands, stomp feet. Love has come, love to set you free. Clap hands, stomp feet. Love has come, love to set you free. The darkness drops again. Oh, and the wheels begin to spin, burning down the fields of Pennsylvania. Clap hands, stop feet. Love has come, love to set you free. Clap hands, stop feet. Yeah. Love has come, love to set you free. Well, 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 well. Love is gonna set you free. Well, 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 well. Told me love would set you free. Well, 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 well. I said love set you free. I said love will set you free.
You're listening to Live Lunch with Dan Cohen on WKMS, and we'll be right back after this.
WKMS sounds good with support from listeners and Kentucky Utilities, whose commercial program helps small business customers offset the costs of new, more energy-efficient equipment and products. Details at lge-ku.com/rebate. We also appreciate support from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting for the acquisition of national and production of local programs.
It's cold outside, so pull up a chair by the fireplace and snuggle in with your favorite WKMS program. Maybe put a little something extra in the WKMS stocking this season. When you do, you could win a handmade willow chair from artist Justin Roberts. You don't have to give to enter, but it is the season for it. And your support is essential to keep listener-funded public radio giving back to the community for years to come. Contribute now at WKMS.org.
We're Murray State's WKMS, inviting you to join our membership at WKMS.org anytime. You're listening to a Sounds Good Live Lunch featuring Murray native Dan Cohen. Watch the live video stream of this performance at WKMS.org, made possible by MSU Digital Media Services. Let's go back to Tracy Ross and Dan Cohen in WKMS Studio B.
Thanks, Matt. Well, Dan, let's finish up. We've been playing catch-up, basically, with your entire career, and we finally gotten you hooked up with Jace Everett. So let's go from there up to Bluebird now.
Yeah, Jace and I started writing, and he knew he was going to have a little bump in success with that song being on True Blood. So we wanted to do a record, and he and I ended up writing several songs for that record, and then he wrote also with Chuck Prophet, who's, you know, Chuck? Mm-hmm. Yeah, amazing singer-songwriter and producer. And Chuck produced half the record, and then he got fired. It's fine, they're still friends. Just Jace has a very, very strong personality, and Chuck has a very, very strong personality. So it's kind of, yeah. But, well, he made some, that partnership has produced some great music. So that album was called Red Revelations, and it came out, and we toured in England quite a bit, and Norway. Started going to Norway.
Aren't you huge in Norway?
Jace is huge in Norway.
And so are you.
He's a genuine rock star.
Mm-hmm. Is that odd to walk over and be revered like the Beach Boys or the Beatles?
Well, I don't know. But, you would have to ask Jace that. No, they're very kind. The song was a radio hit. It was, I think it was number one or number two. You know, they're playing on the radio all the time. So it's been great touring over there. And that Red Revelations, I think, has sold something like 65,000 copies.
Is that
worldwide.
A significant boost over his previous records? For
an indie company, those are big numbers. And then the British fans are just they're great, and the Norwegian. I mean, all the fans are great, but the English fans knew Jace as a country artist when he came out, and then he, Red Revelations is not a country record; it's a rock record, and they said, "Oh, well, that's fine too. We'll listen to that."
What do people categorize you as when they're talking
maybe.
about you? Do they call you alt country or pop or rock or?
There's some confusion. we just sort of decided whatever anybody wants to call it, we don't care as long as they're buying records and coming to shows.
Well, I want to hear another song from Bluebird, which is just, if you can't tell, it's an excellent record from start to finish. What do you want to play for us next?
I'm going to play. I'm going to play a song called Ragdoll that I wrote with Doug Powell. He's a great songwriter in Nashville.
Ragdoll, try to make her dance. Ain't no way she's gonna play with you. Ragdoll, boy, you had your chance. Only one, she don't have time for two. She ain't no ragdoll. She ain't no ragdoll. Gravel road, dust fills the air. Nothing but memories coming back. Tail lights fade into the night, like a train rolling down the Ragdoll. Try to make her dance, and ain't no way she's gonna play with you. She ain't no ragdoll. She is blue skies on the rise, barefoot in the sand. Goodbye, no time to cry. Sunshine on the wind as she blows away. She ain't no ragdoll. She ain't no ragdoll. She is blue skies on the rise, barefoot in the sand. Goodbye, no time to cry. Sunshine on the blue skies on the rise, barefoot in the sand. Goodbye, no time to cry. Sunshine on the wind as she blows away. As she blows away.
So, what has been the, I guess, the critical response to Bluebird so far?
It's been very favorable. Peter Cooper from the Tennessean did an article, actually right about a month ago, I guess, and it's had several reviews from magazines, and that they seem to dig it.
And how do you, as an independent label, when you release an album, how do you try to get publicity? Because you don't have a machine working for you to do it like the major labels do.
Mostly you just stand on the corner holding copies of your record.
Is that pretty successful?
Flinging them at people as they pass by.
Yeah, so it's all happenstance.
I might be kidding.
But you might not. Yeah.
No, it's very much... because of this internet. Have you heard of the internet?
I've heard it's quite popular.
Me too. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of outlets for getting the word out, but for me, it's still kind of like I don't need to sell 100,000 copies of this record. I just want to get this record into the hands of people who are going to enjoy it, and so that really is. It really is kind of a person by person, one-on-one process. I'm not going to have access to, big radio and TV pushes, and I'm playing shows, and you really have to target the right kind of venues. You have to find the venues where people are going to enjoy, where people come who you think are going to enjoy this kind of music. Because if I got a big opening gig, opening for Florida Georgia Line or something, that wouldn't do anything for me because those people aren't going to be Dan Cohen fans. I don't think. Some of them might be, but and Jace has been actually very helpful also because the last two tours, the spring and then this last one in Norway also, I've been doing a couple songs from Bluebird with the band during his set, I mean, how many guys are going to give up 10 minutes in the middle of their set to let their, friend do a couple of songs. But, we're in this together, he thinks. So I've been able to reach a lot of his fans and make my own fans. And earlier this spring, I actually did a solo tour in Norway for about 3 weeks around Western Norway and played a bunch of venues. And that experience and that response was very gratifying. It's just... It's just a smaller deal.
Well, what do you want to play for us now?
What do I want to play for you? What time is it? What are we looking at here?
8.5 minutes.
I want to play this song. It's called Even Us. It was on my first record. There are a lot of people in I forgot to say, big shout out to Ben Hubbard out there. Hi, Ben. I remembered. Isn't that amazing? No way. There seem to be a lot of people right now who are going through, in my life, who are sort of going through these rough patches where they don't know what they're doing and nothing's horribly wrong. They're just dissatisfied and they're restless. They're discontent. And then they're guilty because they feel ungrateful for the good things that are going on in their life. And a few years back, a friend of mine was going through that, and I wrote this song mainly thinking of her, and then I've ended up having to I've listened to it to myself a couple of times and been like, oh, okay. So this song goes out to all of my friends who are kind of going through rough patches or whatever, and it's called Even Us.
When it comes over you, you feel like holding on is all you do. You try, you can't make the pieces fit together right. Oh, and everyone but you knows what you're going through. You don't even see. You've got everything you need. Just know that all your fears will fade away when you wake up in a bright new day, and everything that went before will turn to dust. Even us, even us. try to trade yourself for bits and pieces of somebody else. But the voice you're meant to use is bigger than the little breath he gave to you. Ooh. Oh, and your sleight of hand is fine. Yeah, you fooled everyone this time. You don't even see. You've got everything you need. Just know that all your fears will fade away when you wake up in a bright new day. And everything that went before will turn to dust. Even us, even us. And I know it may sound strange, but you know nothing stays the same. You don't even see. You got everything you need. Just know that all your fears will fade away when you wake up in a bright new day, and everything that went before will turn to dust. Even us, even us, even us. Even us, even us.
Dan Cohen on Live Lunch. People listening, how can they get your records, Bluebird and all the other ones?
You can go to dancohenmusic.com. Also westonboys.com for the whole Weston Boys catalog. But I would go to dancohenmusic.com. That would be that's where I go there all the time. It's great. You gotta love it.
Do you have anything that you want to talk about coming up? Any, are you playing out or any events or anything you want to talk about before we go?
You know, I do. Jason and I are both playing sets at the Basement on December 22nd in Nashville, Tennessee.
And I know before you leave, you wanted to thank Jennifer Fairbanks.
Thank you very much. Jen Fairbanks did the artwork for this record, and it's amazing and beautiful. She can be found at Gallery 109, and I'm actually going to take some copies of the record down there. So you can, if you're around the Court Square and you want to pick up a Dan Cohen record, you can just go. Is it on 3rd? Yeah, 3rd. I also just wanted to say thank you very much, Tracy.
It's my pleasure. This is many, many years in the making. Many years in the making. It's been my pleasure to have Dan Cohen on Live Lunch. We've got a couple of minutes left. Do you have a little instrumental you could play us out with?
Yes.
What is this?
This is called I Think I Stole This. Because I think I did. Not all of it, just, the main melody.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Dan Cohen. Thanks for listening to Sounds Good Live Lunch featuring Dan Cohen. The video of today's live lunch will be available soon at WKMS.org, where you can watch past live lunches, including Red Ember's Halloween performance. Our next Sounds Good Live Lunch is Murray Jam Funk Rock Band Big Atomic, December 12th at noon. This is WKMS-FM 91.3 HD1 and 2 Murray, WKMD 90.9 FM HD1 and 2 Madisonville, and WKMT